This week, Russia's industry has reached a new milestone. The most powerful marine nuclear reactor, Reactor 400, has been produced, as well as the most powerful gas turbine engine, 110M. Welding has begun on the rails for the first high-speed railway line. Our own serial cryostats have been presented, and a new unmanned cargo boat has made its first autonomous delivery. But that's not all. We'll share the details, as well as a new rescue story, after a brief summary of positive news. The Soyuz 2.1A launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The Orenburg drilling equipment plant has launched production of the first Russian heavy-type drilling rig. A gold extraction plant was opened in the Irkutsk region, a sewing factory in Ivanovo, and the production of the first Russian anti-thrombotic drug was launched in Primory. A breeding and seed center opened near Voronezh, a poultry complex in the Moscow region, and an agricultural complex in Bryansk region. The team from St. Petersburg University took first place at the 32nd International Mathematics Competition for university students, International Mathematics Competition 200 in Bulgaria. Although we usually select one news story as the main topic of the broadcast, today we will break with tradition because Russian industry has delivered a whole series of pleasant surprises, and it's impossible to decide which one is more important. Judge for yourself. Rosatom's machine builders have completed the assembly of the RITM 400 reactor unit for the world's most powerful nuclear icebreaker, Rossiya. Its thermal power is 315 megawatts. That would be enough to supply electricity to a city with a population of 150,000 people. The under-construction Rossiya icebreaker, part of Project 10,510 liter, will feature two RITM 400 reactors, making it the world's most powerful icebreaker and civilian vessel. No one has ever produced anything like this before, so the reactors even received their own names: Ilya Muromets and Dobrynya Nikitich. Their combined power will allow them to break through ice up to 4 meters thick and carve a channel 50 meters wide. It's not just about power, but also engineering excellence. The design of RITM 400 is unique because the steam generators are located inside the hull, which has made it possible to significantly reduce the size and weight of the equipment. This is very important for shipbuilding. It took 3 years to produce the units, 100 secrets were used, and 7 inventions were patented. At the same time, the shipment of the second serial domestic high-power gas turbine engine, 110M, was completed. We have dedicated many episodes to how this product was created to replace the products of Siemens, which left Russia. The first serial unit was delivered to the Udarnaya thermal power plant in the Krasnodar region at the end of 2024 and has been successfully performing its work. Another turbine will be produced by the end of this year. This means that despite the complexity, we achieved the most important goal: serial production. Today, only a few countries in the world are capable of this. Meanwhile, in the city of Seversk in the Tomsk region, the main parts of the hull of the innovative Brest OD 300 nuclear reactor have been delivered as a result of a complex 2-month transportation operation. The oversized cargo, weighing 270 tons, was transported by rivers, the Northern Sea Route, and highways on a special 21-axle platform. The Brest OD 300 fast neutron reactor is included in the ProRIV project. It will make it possible to close the fuel cycle and repeatedly use nuclear waste. We continue to closely follow the progress of this bold project as part of our program, but there is other news as well. At the Reshetnev Enterprise, the first domestic assembly line for conveyor production of spacecraft weighing up to 300 kilo, and their components has been created and launched. The line uses robotic systems and automated control. All this will make it possible to reduce the production time of the spacecraft and quickly form multi-satellite orbital constellations. Meanwhile, the RKS Holding has launched mass production of the upgraded main optical instrument for the Meteor M series satellites. Thanks to these new eyes, the satellites will be able to see better and distinguish more ground objects. An important experiment took place on Sakhalin. An unmanned boat delivered cargo to one of the islands for the first time. The vessel, equipped with a Russian system and equipment complex, departed from the port of Novelsk and traveled nearly 70 kilometers across the Tatar Strait one way and the same distance back, all without human involvement. The surface drone can carry 500 kilograms, and considering Russia's extensive river system, this direction has great prospects, just like high-speed rail transport. As part of the construction of the country's first high-speed rail line, Moscow-St. Petersburg, welding of 100-meter rails began this week. These unusually long rails are welded end-to-end into a single 800-meter-long piece. What is necessary to have as few joints as possible so that the high-speed train can move quickly and smoothly? This is a serious engineering challenge since the deviation from straightness for such rails is only 0.2 MMIG. The achievements listed would be enough for other countries for a whole year, not just a week, but this is Russia. So the positive news doesn't end. At the beginning of the week, Russian scientists presented serial cryostats for the first time. That is, cooling systems for quantum computers. They are necessary to maintain a temperature close to absolute zero, that is, minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, atoms and molecules stop moving, and matter begins to behave according to the laws of quantum mechanics, which makes it possible to perform calculations. Previously, we used to buy such cooling systems abroad, but now we have learned to produce them ourselves after 2.5 years of research and development. The first two units were named Yurta and Uranga. There was also the official launch of cloud access to the new domestic hybrid quantum classical computer. This gives developers the opportunity to test their own algorithms for solving a wide range of test problems on quantum hardware. Thus, we are gradually entering the era of quantum computing, and Russia is securing a sovereign position in it. Now you can see for yourself that it was impossible to choose the main news of the week from the ones listed. Each of them is good in its own way. Behind each one lies the hard work of our scientists, engineers, and workers. This is what the real Russia is like: hardworking, persistent, and talented. It's a pity that many people stubbornly refuse to see it. And this applies not only to industry, but also to politics. Russian diplomacy is often criticized in some circles. They say it's soft, toothless, and only capable of expressing concern in response to blows. However, there is a discrepancy. It's completely unclear how our toothless diplomacy managed to thwart the enemy's plans to internationally isolate Russia, as was confirmed by the recent Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. Who is isolated now if Russia, India, and China have begun to form an alliance to resist Western pressure? Maybe our diplomacy isn't as weak as we've been led to believe?